Mars, the red planet, our cosmic neighbor, and a place that has fueled human imagination for centuries. Some dream of colonizing it, others imagine finding extraterrestrial life, and a few just want to survive long enough to make it back home. But what if you had only 5 seconds on Mars? Could you make it? Would you even have a chance to react? Let's strap in and take a trip to the fourth planet from the Sun to find out exactly what would happen if you found yourself standing on the barren, frozen surface of Mars with nothing but the clock ticking down to disaster. Mars, not exactly a warm welcome. At first glance, Mars might seem almost inviting. After all, NASA, SpaceX, and other organizations are actively planning for human settlement. So it must be somewhat livable, right? Not even close. Mars is a death trap, a place where everything is out to get you. By day, temperatures can be a comfortable 20 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, not too different from a mild spring afternoon on Earth. But by night, things take a turn for the absolutely brutal. Mars can drop to minus 153 degrees Celsius, minus 243 degrees Fahrenheit colder than Antarctica's harshest winters. The Martian atmosphere is a toxic cocktail of carbon dioxide, with barely any oxygen to breathe. Powerful dust storms can reach speeds of 100 kilometers per hour, 60 miles per hour, completely engulfing the planet for months. Radiation levels are off the charts, thanks to the lack of a protective magnetic field. And, oh yeah, it stinks. The planet is covered in iron oxide, better known as rust, giving Mars its signature red hue and making the whole place smell like a metal workshop mixed with gunpowder. The countdown begins. You have 5 seconds. So, let's say you're dropped onto Mars right now, with no spacesuit, no helmet, no protection whatsoever. What happens in those 5 seconds? Second 1. The pressure drop hits you like a brick. Your lungs collapse instantly. Why? Because Mars' atmospheric pressure is less than 1% of Earth's, essentially a near vacuum. The lack of pressure doesn't just make breathing impossible, it forces all the air out of your body. Your blood begins to boil, not from heat, but because without pressure, the liquid inside you turns to gas. Your eardrums rupture, and you begin blacking out almost immediately. Second 2. The cold sets in. Without the protective warmth of an atmosphere, the frigid temperatures start freezing your skin. Frostbite begins almost immediately, but hypothermia won't kill you because the lack of oxygen will get you first. At this point, you're in severe agony, but your brain is already losing consciousness. Second 3. Radiation floods your body. Mars has no ozone layer, no magnetic field, and absolutely no protection from the sun's deadly radiation. Even in just a few seconds, you're absorbing a lethal dose of radiation, enough to cause extreme cellular damage. If you somehow manage to survive this ordeal, you'd be at severe risk of cancer and organ failure. Second 4. Your body starts to expand. Because there's no air pressure, the gases inside your lungs, stomach, and tissues begin to expand rapidly. Your skin stretches, your veins start to swell, and you look grotesquely bloated, like a human balloon about to burst. This isn't quite the Hollywood-style explosion you might expect, but trust me, it's far from comfortable. Second 5. Lights out. By now, your brain has shut down. You're unconscious, unable to move, and seconds away from death. Your body is either boiling, freezing, suffocating, or all three at once. Take your pick. If someone were miraculously able to rescue you at this exact moment and rush you back into a pressurized environment, you might just barely survive, though the damage would be permanent. Could you survive any longer? If you wore a pressurized suit with oxygen, you might last several minutes before radiation and extreme cold started wreaking havoc on your body. But without specialized protection, even 5 seconds is too much. Your lungs would collapse instantly. Your blood would start boiling. You'd black out before you could even react. And within 30 seconds, you'd be dead for good. Even if you were inside a well-built Martian base, you'd still be at constant risk from micrometeorites, dust storms, and deadly radiation. Building a home on Mars, is it even possible? Colonizing Mars is one of humanity's greatest dreams, but it's far from easy. If you wanted to live there permanently, you'd need a fully airtight, insulated habitat that shields you from radiation, a sustainable life support system for oxygen, water, and food, protection from meteoroids and dust storms that could tear apart your base. A way to grow food, like using pressurized greenhouses to farm potatoes, and, of course, you'd be drinking recycled sweat and urine because water on Mars is too precious to waste. But hey, at least your house on Mars would have a killer view of the solar system. Final thoughts. The red planet is not your friend. Mars is not just another version of Earth. It's a hostile, unforgiving wasteland that will kill you in seconds if you're not prepared. Even if we do colonize Mars, it will take immense technological advancements and lifelong dedication just to keep the first humans alive. So while a Martian adventure sounds amazing, your best bet is probably to stick to watching from afar or at least wait until we build some really good spacesuits. What's next? Now that you know what happens in 5 seconds on Mars, how about we raise the stakes? What if you had to spend a full day on Venus? Or walk on the surface of Jupiter's most dangerous moon? Think you could handle it? Well, that's a story for another adventure into the unknown.